I'm Shalika De Silva. On behalf of Samadhi Buddhist Foundation, I would like to welcome all of you to our this month's Clarity of Mind through Mindfulness session. Actually, today is our first session of the year, and today our topic is gratitude. Um, Before I introduce Bhante, I would like to just start off sharing a quote from Buddha. Gratitude is to be cultivated as a habit or attitude of mind not dependent on conditions. So now I would like to invite our Venerable Chandarathana Thero to explain how we can develop gratitude through mindfulness, integrity, and self-reflection. Theruvan Saranai Bhante.
Yeah, Theruvan Sarnai. So to begin with, I'll go to my slides. So basically today we are hoping to discuss about gratitude. As Shalika explained, Buddha is talking about gratitude in detail, and he actually, if we consider various scriptures or suttas, we can recognize some distinction between a good person and a bad person. So if we consider Anguttara Nikaya, Samachitta Vagga, so there Buddha explains about certain qualities of a good person as well as certain bad qualities of a bad person. So first of all, Buddha mentioned what is the whole plane of bad persons. So there he mentioned typically these bad people, say Asappurisa, are ungrateful and unthankful. Suppose that someone has helped them, but they are not grateful about it and they are not thankful about it. And ingratitude and unthankfulness are extolled by the bad. So they talk about it and they don't want to appreciate thankfulness, they don't want to appreciate gratefulness. And such people come together and they actually can be categorized as bad people. So ingratitude and unthankfulness belong entirely to the plane of the bad person. But on the other hand, the plane of the good person, the ground of the good person, the group of the good person shows the opposite. So a good person is grateful and thankful. So how whatever it may be the small thing that someone else might have done to him, someone else might have helped him, and for that actually he is keeping in his heart some sort of a gratefulness, some sort of a thankfulness. So that is his nature, that is the good person's nature. For gratitude and thankfulness are extolled by the good. So therefore, if you can recognize, if you want to recognize who is a good person, who is a bad person, Buddha mentioned the good people always appreciate this gratefulness, always appreciate this thankfulness. And gratitude and thankfulness belong entirely to the plane of the good person. So if there are these two planes, some people are working on the unthankfulness, ungratefulness, so they are in the bad plane. We can say, on the other hand, the good people are always in the thankfulness or gratefulness. So this is one instance that Buddha talks about thankfulness, gratefulness, and being grateful and maintaining some gratitude in our hearts. This is one sutta Buddha explains very clearly about it. And then there's another sutta I come across called Asadu Pajjahas Vaggo, that is again in Anguttara Nikaya. There Buddha mentioned about two people, two kinds of persons, rare in the world. So these two people are rare in the world. So who are they? One who takes the initiative in helping others, and one who is grateful and thankful. Now, sometimes people want to mind their own business and they don't care about others. They sometimes neglect others, and if certain duties are assigned to them, they even neglect that. And if someone is in need, if someone is helpless, so we turn our mind, turn our head to the other opposite direction, and we simply go away. We don't have any thought of helping. So therefore, Buddha mentioned the people who have such kind of a initiative in helping others is quite rare. And on the other hand, one who is grateful and thankful is also very rare. So it is not that people are not helping each other, they may help each other, but the person who received the help easily forgets it, easily doesn't keep any kind of a gratitude in his mind. So therefore Buddha mentioned these two kinds of persons are very rare in the world. And this is another instance where Buddha mentioned about this gratitude, gratefulness, thankfulness. Actually, in Pali, these terms are referred as Katanyu Katavedita. Katanyu is the person who is grateful, who is thankful. Katavedita is the term for the gratefulness, being grateful. And I found another interesting sutta which is available in Dullabha, as again in the Anguttara Nikaya, which is called Dullabha Sutta. There Buddha mentioned about three persons who are rare in the world, extremely rare in the world. First is the Buddha, the manifestation of a Tathagata, an Arahant. A perfectly enlightened one is rare in the world. So you know, a rising of the Buddha is not frequently happening. Per kind of an eon, so there may be even no Buddhas. So what we call as Buddha Shunya Kappa, where there are no Buddhas at all, but the time is going on and on for many, many eons, but there is no arising of a Buddha. There is no arising of a Samma Sambuddha. But we are quite fortunate in this eon. Actually, we know that there are 5 Buddhas arising, and already 4 Buddhas have arisen, and there's one Metteya Buddha going to arise. So this is the kind of a legendary information. So this Baddha Kappa, or what we call as a noble kind of a eon. So here we actually get 4 kinds of, or 4 or 5 Buddhas. But on the opposite, on the contrary, there are many eons where there are no Buddhas at all. So the arising of a Buddha is a blessing to the world. It's a kind of a rare opportunity, rare occasion to the whole world. And then Buddha mentioned the person who teaches the Dhamma and discipline proclaimed by the Tathagata is rare in the world. People are actually discussing Buddha's teaching, trying to explain it, but we need to question whether is it the real Buddha's teaching? Is it really the Buddha's words? Or is it kind of an interpretation that this individual is having? Is it his own view? So when someone is talking about Buddha's teaching, exactly what Buddha has mentioned, so that is kind of a rare situation. Because sometimes people have their own narrow-minded views, their preconceived ideas. As a result of that, it's very difficult to say that we are talking the same thing. Buddha wanted to tell us something, but the preacher, maybe a monk, maybe a nun, maybe a lay follower, they probably interpret it differently. So therefore, it's very difficult in a way as listeners to, first of all, to understand whether he is exactly talking the Buddha's teaching. So likewise, therefore, Buddha mentioned the person who is explaining the Buddha's teaching precisely, without any deviations, without any kind of harming the teaching. So that is also very rare. The third person Buddha mentioned is the grateful and thankful person. He is rare in the world. Now you can see, now in this categorization, Buddha has put Buddha also into this category, in the sense about the rare people. And then a rare person is the person who is exactly or correctly explaining Buddha's teaching. Now into such a rare situation is that the person being grateful, person being thankful. So with that you can understand how rare opportunity we have. In a way, we as human beings have different types of qualities, but this gratefulness and thankfulness seems something that we need to develop, because most of the time we lack of it, we forget it. Our parents have done a lot to us, our, maybe our husband, maybe our wife, maybe our friends, maybe our teachers, so they have helped a lot, but we quickly forgets. There may be a little mistake, we forget the whole thing. So likewise, our hearts or our minds are not really attuned to thankfulness and gratefulness. So therefore Buddha encouraged, mentioning that these qualities are very rare, Therefore, we got to develop them. We got to cultivate them. We need to understand the value of them. So now let's get into some recent scientific findings. So there are many health benefits are being recognized if one's mind is more attuned towards gratefulness. Then scientists have found many health benefits even. Now, better understanding of physiology of gratitude can help pinpoint strategies for harnessing its health benefits. So, if we know how we feel when we are being grateful, what is your heart feeling at that time? Suppose that someone has helped you and you are honestly saying thank you, you are honestly appreciating it. On such situation, how your heart feels. So likewise, on such occasions, actually there is a health benefit or kind of an improvement of our health actually happens. Scientifically, they have understood that if you are grateful, you have improving sleep patterns. Now you may not get disturbed while you are sleeping, or you are not going through any horrible nightmares. So you may have a very smooth sleep if your mind is grateful. So this is something they have scientifically found. And on the other hand, it strengthens your immune system, and therefore actually uh, you are less prone to various health issues because your immune system is getting stronger. And then feeling optimistic and experiencing more joy and pleasure because you feel kind of a positive atmosphere in yourself, so optimistic, and therefore you can take over whatever the challenge coming on your way because you have kind of a positive feeling in yourself, and you are being more helpful and generous. If someone is in need, you can quickly be generous and do something, and there is no hesitation. So this is another positive quality that you going to have when you have the gratitude. And feeling less lonely and isolated, because sometimes it is not that we are always with the other people, but even when we are physically alone, suppose that you are going to a forest, you are simply alone, but if you have the quality of gratitude, you don't feel that you are alone, you don't feel lonely, rather you feel well connected with the whole nature. So we'll discuss that in detail how these things actually happening. So this loneliness, being alone, so that kind of a very lonely secluded feeling may not come to you if your heart is filled with gratitude. It is not that always you have to keep your loved ones around you, but even when you are physically alone, you don't feel loneliness if your mind is filled with gratitude. And on the other hand, it energizes you, it energizes yourself, and sort of give kind of a motivation to exercise. So if you want to go a walk, if you want to do something, if you want to do something beneficial, so that for that you are getting kind of an initiation when your mind is grateful, when your heart is grateful. And again, how feeling positive emotion can improve bodily functions. So if we consider a little bit in detail how these things are happening, actually it is not very huge things that we need to engage with in order to feel grateful. It may be very trivial things even. So this is the beauty of the Dhamma in a way. Now if you consider even meditation, say anapanasati, mindfulness on breathing, the activity is extremely a simple thing. You simply have to keep your attention at your nostril, and then you need to notice the in breath, you got to notice the out breath. It's a very simple activity, but not easy, but the activity wise it is very simple. And when you are continuing this activity for long time, then of course you may understand how what a kind of a strength it is bringing to your whole self. Similarly, these gratitude initiations or triggering activities are very simple. Say, for example, you are waiting at a bus stop and you are expecting the bus to come on time. Suppose it is coming, Now you can be actually thankful about it. You can feel grateful because everything has to happen smoothly. Then only it is possible. If the bus driver is delayed, or if he met with an accident in between, if other passengers were delayed when they are getting down or getting in, so all sorts of different situations can happen. But without any of these troubles, suppose now the bus is coming on time at your bus stop. So you can actually have kind of a grateful feeling about it. Suppose that someone else, and suppose similarly, say you are waiting at the bus stop, say some of your friends coming and asking you to get onto his car, get onto his vehicle, so that he's willing to give a lift. So you can be grateful because otherwise it may be for a long time you might have to wait. Someone may be now trying to help you. So at that time you can fill your heart with gratitude. And on the other hand, suppose you are going through a door and you are about to go through a door, but the first person who has gone is just holding the door for you and you have never seen him, but he is as a gesture, as a help, and he is simply holding the door for you. And at this time you can feel grateful, you can say thank you, you can appreciate it. It is not simply a word, but you can simply appreciate what he is doing. And on the other hand, say it is a kind of a day that you are going to start and you are simply opening your window and a lot of sunshine coming, the say the sky is quite clear. So likewise, sometimes the weather is quite pleasant, and therefore you can start the day with a lot of freshness in yourself. Actually, we can be grateful to the nature, and maybe in the morning we may hear birds chirping, maybe other little creatures are crying. So likewise, there are very interesting things that we can even notice while in a forest. Actually, while when I am starting my day, actually maybe mostly the birds chirping, or maybe monkeys are shouting. So likewise, there are very interesting phenomena explaining that now again the situation has started, or again a new day has started. Now I have a fresh day to live with. So for that, rather than taking these things for granted, we can be grateful. So these other little creatures, maybe monkeys, maybe rabbits, maybe birds, so they all make our world quite beautiful. So otherwise, actually, we will be simply alone as a very selfish human beings. But all these other creatures, animals, birds, actually makes the whole world quite beautiful. So therefore, that is also quite interesting that we can appreciate with. And suppose that you are saying thank you to a small activity, small transaction. Say someone is helping you a little, or someone is, say, at the counter, he is helping you. Maybe he is giving way to you. Say you are going driving and the other person simply allowing you to go, so you can feel grateful. So these are very little activities. It is not that someone has to offer you a huge amount of money, to give you a huge loan. It is not the same thing. But these are very minor things that actually helps to feel grateful. And maybe uh, animals are coming and touching ourselves, so they are showing their gesture. So that is also very interesting points that we feel grateful. Each of these small moments strings together to create a web of well-being. So in ourselves, it is creating such kind of a well-being. And over time strengthens the ability to notice the good. And further, and there are certain scientists actually have explored in this area. And one is called Robert Emmons. So he's a psychology professor in California. So he explains two components of practicing gratitude. Now we are moving little deeper how to practically implement gratitude. So he is talking about two ways how to practice. First one is affirm the good things we have received. As I have explained, say someone else's kind of maybe even a smile, someone else's little help holding the door for you, or someone else is helping to climb a stair. or someone is giving way to you. And likewise, these very little activities that someone else has done to you, so you can affirm those good things and acknowledge the role other people play, providing our lives with goodness. So the person we can appreciate. Previously, the activity we can appreciate. Here, the person also we can appreciate. He's a human being, and he is a neighbor, he's a stranger, he's my husband, he's my wife, he's my kid, he's my teacher, he's my mother, he's my father. So, as a person, he is taking care of us, so his mind has some space for us. So this is something we can appreciate. And on the other hand, this John Kabat-Zinn, who is very popular now, who is the, we can say, the founder of mindfulness based stress reduction, that 8 weeks module. So he's a very well known psychologist, and he's also mentioning the little things, the little moments. They aren't little, they are not really little. Saying thank you, holding the door for someone, these little moments can change the tone of your whole day. Suppose you are stuck with some difficulties, you have to pay the mortgage, say you have to do a lot of work today, there are many responsibilities. So at that time, say someone is very pleasantly holding the door for you. So you get kind of a very interesting feeling, very positive feeling at the very early morning. So that energizes yourself. So sometimes we are in negativity, sometimes when we are get down from our bed, we are filled with so much of negative thoughts. Maybe someone else yesterday has done something wrong, and he didn't respect me, he simply neglect me. So likewise, those previous day bad memories probably occupy the mind slowly. So we are almost like spoiling today as well. But at that time, on such situation, suppose someone is holding the door for you and giving a small smile, pleasant smile, maybe he is giving you a lift. So likewise, these little gestures actually change the whole day. Then we are again open, again we are blooming. Again we think, yes, there are very good people still available in the world. So I can be still thankful, I can be grateful. So likewise, the whole day turns to the other side, telling that still I can live harmoniously, still I can live thankfully, gratefully. And on the other thing, he has mentioned one of the most powerful ways to rewire your brain for more joy and less stress is to focus on gratitude. Now, when we are thinking bad things about the other people and what faults they did to us, so that is actually rewiring the mind the opposite way. Again and again, we are seeing the negative. Again and again, we feel depressed. We are criticizing them, we are condemning them. But on the other hand, when we are considering the positive side, then actually we feel better. So we feel gratitude, we feel grateful, we feel thankful, and we feel positive. So that is the positive side we actually can develop. It is not always that only a selected group of people that have to help us, but on the other hand, actually there may be strangers, as I mentioned. Those are very little minor activities. Still, if we know how to look at it gratefully, then we can really get benefited. So practicing gratitude. Now, if you consider practicing gratitude, we have to start with very basic things, very minor things, as we develop anapanasati, mindfulness on breathing, maybe walking meditation while keeping our attention on our steps. So these are very little activities, but producing very considerable results. So here also, practicing gratitude also similar. So it also has to practice with small things. So you can remind yourself what are the gifts that you have and what is the kind of grace, benefits, and good things you enjoy. Suppose you are having a home and your home is say beautiful, you are keeping your furniture properly, so it is giving you a very pleasant mindset, and say uh, and you have certain good personal attributes, so you are appreciating your own good qualities even. So you are having a kind of a kind heart, you're having a kind of a loving heart, you have kind of an opening in yourself, you are ready to listen to someone, you are ready to thank to someone. So likewise, we already have certain good qualities, but sometimes what happens is we are so critical about our negative things, ignoring all about our good things. But if we notice our good things, our skills, or our say good qualities, so that helps us to make ourselves positive. So it does not mean that I am stopping my progress. I already enjoy what I have. Say, assume that you are a meditator. So it is very rarely people meditate. So they are sort of more oriented with various material develop, material gains, etc. But you are actually thinking about some spiritual development. You're thinking about that side. So you can really appreciate this rare opportunity, the rare quality that you have, the mind's seeking of that kind of inner space. That is something you can actually appreciate. Many qualities, many good qualities we have in ourselves. So rather than neglecting them, we can time to time think that I am a good person. It doesn't mean that I am trying to make a huge personality or I am trying to prepare a kind of a special personality. I want to feel kind of conceited. So that is not the point. So in order to practice, we need to have this kind of a positive feeling in ourselves. So that is encouraged actually when Buddha mentioned about say sila, morality. So Buddha encourages that, okay, you have to stop restraining yourself in killing, restraining in stealing, restraining in sexual misconduct, restraining in lying, restraining in ap- taking alcohol, etc. So when you practice this, so as you are progressing, you actually have to give some marks to yourself. On say a couple of years ago, I was not careful about these things, but now I am considerate about these things. So likewise, so you feel that I am progressing. So this is actually motivating. It is true, it's making kind of a personality view, doesn't matter, but later actually you can address those more profound kind of understandings that actually comes in the future. But in the when we are turning ourselves from the bad side to the good side, you are trying to be a good person, you are trying to be a moral person, virtuous person. At that time, the motivation coming from yourself is quite important. So Buddha talks about anavajja sukha, where you feel that I haven't done anything wrong in the recent past. Several years ago probably I have done so many things, but now I am not. I am so conscious about what I am doing. I'm responsible for what I am doing. I'm taking care of others. So I have kind of an empathy. So likewise, when you feel the change happening in yourself, so that is actually giving some positive atmosphere in yourself. It motivates you. It encourages you. And on the other hand, suppose now you are doing some meditation. So you are trying to be mindful about the breath, trying to be mindful about the step walking. So that also another skill that we are developing, and that actually has recognized as improving body awareness and come to your senses rather than being in a dream world fantasizing. Rather, we come well grounded. We are trying to be well grounded and to develop the body awareness. So that is necessary. Then actually we feel that I am living. Otherwise, we are being dragged by our thoughts and we are in different dream worlds. So that doesn't help really. But on the other hand, if we are coming to our senses, if we know that I am, say, walking, if we know I am sitting, if we know I am standing, if we know we are lying down, so all these actually sort of bring our attention to the present moment, connect ourselves to the body. So that is actually the improvement of body awareness. So knowing ourselves, improving body awareness is a very healthy ground to develop gratitude. Now, on the other hand, say you can compare certain bad or hardships that you have gone through. Say your loved one has passed away, so you have endured that. It may have happened several months ago, several years ago, or you may went through some economic problem. Somehow you were able to overcome that, or you may met up with an accident, but now you are quite well, you have fully recovered. You had to face a very difficult exam, now you have gone through it, you have passed it. So likewise you can little sometimes remember certain hardships that you have gone through, but now you are doing well, but now you are not having such kind of a stressful situation. For that you can be thankful. So you can compare even your own life, what a kind of a hardships that I have gone through, but now you are doing well, but now you feel comfortable, you are at ease, your mind is resting, your mind has certain good qualities already developed, and you have learned a lot through those hardships. When you are thinking like this, again you feel kind of confident, again you feel that you are grateful. I mean, how there may be certain people that you have that helped to overcome that situation, or certain teachers has guided you, your friends had helped you. So likewise, when we remember those some hardships, sometimes it generates a lot of happiness, a lot of contentment or gratitude in ourselves. So suppose you went through some sickness and you are being bedridden, or you are hospitalized. Actually certain people are coming and taking care of you, and they are encouraging you, they are well wishing. So all these certain points we can remember as human beings, rather than neglecting these things, rather than quickly forgetting these things. If we can remember these very good things that we went through, hardships that we went through, and how we have overcome them, and what others how they have helped us, so this is actually nurturing ourselves. And then further it is mentioned, recall on the inherently good things that others have done on your behalf, because sometimes I alone can't do things, so someone else is doing it on behalf of me. Say you want to buy something and you are asking your kid to please bring this from the shop, or you are giving a call to your husband, to your say wife, while on the way, please carry on this, please purchase this. Or you are in need of something and you are ordering it, someone is delivering it. So you don't need to visit the supermarket, you don't need to visit a particular place, but through a call you are ordering it. So we sometimes think that I am paying for that, so they have to deliver it. So this is kind of a more in a business oriented way. But on the other hand, there are people involved with in doing these things. So if we forget that people's involvement, then it's very much very dry kind of a mind. But when we can remember that I have mentioned my husband to carry this when he's on the way back, I have mentioned my child to carry this on the way back, I have mentioned my friend or my wife to carry this on the way back when he is returning home. So he's keeping it his in mind, and without fault, without forgetting, he is bringing it. So you can have some thankfulness, gratefulness in your mind. So, and again, this is as I mentioned, these are very interesting, very simple activities, and you can have a simple smile. Actually people sometimes feel looks very grumpy, and they don't have any smile in their face. But when even when you are meeting a stranger, and if he is giving a kind of a welcoming gesture, so you can have a smile. So smiling is something really makes yourself confident, makes yourself positive, and saying thank you to even a little thing, and writing letters of gratitude. So these are another areas that people sometimes recommend. Say in practicing gratitude, you can, I mean, sometimes say counselors are sort of recommending writing a gratitude journal. What are the things that you received today, how grateful you are, so you are mentioning that. Even to that level certain people can go. And assume now when we are becoming more and more improving our awareness, so we can use this awareness, mindfulness, to fill ourselves with gratitude. So this is the another area how to practice gratitude. This is more connected with mindfulness. When we are developing mindfulness, first of all we are developing body awareness, so our body awareness improves. So when we feel body awareness, improved body awareness, suppose now you are not feeling hungry, so you are filled, say you had a very good say breakfast. So when you feel that, you can be thankful to whoever the people who prepared the breakfast. It is not that you cultivated those vegetables, fruits, someone else has cultivated that. It is not that you have cooked the food, maybe your wife, or maybe the at the hotel certain other people, they cook the food. So you can be mindful, you can be grateful. So when you feel kind of healthy in your body, so there are so many other factors contributing towards that. We typically forgets it. But when we are improving the body awareness, actually we feel, okay, I'm wearing certain clothes, that is because of someone else has prepared these clothes. So as a monk now, actually I don't have any say job opportunity or rather any profession, so everything is given by others. So I am solely depending on the generosity of the lay people. So in that sense, monks have to be extremely grateful to the people. So that is the way that Buddha has prepared this monkhood. So they are not allowed to earn money, they are not allowed to go through a kind of a profession and earn money. Rather, we have to depend on the lay people's generosity. So when they are giving these things, I have to be extremely grateful to them. So similar to you, so sometimes other people are helping you, so you can be grateful. And even when you shift your attention to the sounds, as I mentioned earlier, suppose in the early morning you hear birds chirping, and how what a beautiful thing it is. So rather than in a very dry boring environment, now they are singing, they are birds are chirping. So that makes we feel alive when we hear that. And probably you can hear that other people have started their day, so they are trying hard something, they are encouraging each other, they are waking others. So likewise you can feel alive again, so you for that even you can be grateful. And sometimes, I mean, if you feel that really things are not really working and you feel little depressed, you feel really negative, probably you can play a little music, you can play a record and feel positive, because we don't need to encourage negativity in ourselves. So we can use certain skillful means to overcome those negative feelings. So maybe music is a very good thing, maybe going for a walk is a very good thing. Now when it comes to the say listening part, so listening to music or listening to birds chirping, listening to other animals sounds makes us alive, makes us that we are living. So these are very interesting points. And sometimes you can hear that children are laughing, others are also laughing, enjoying. So we, rather than we feel that we are being disturbed, why not we think that they are also making the whole environment beautiful. So this is a way, in a way, actually we have to change a little how we think. What is our attitude that we need to change? And on the other hand, the touching part. Now we discuss a little bit about the hearing part, and again we can discuss about the smelling. Sometimes in the morning, probably very pleasant aroma of say flowers coming, so you can enjoy it. Actually assume that you are having a morning walk. While you are passing certain areas, you may feel kind of a very refreshing aroma. So that is also something that you can appreciate. And when it comes to the touching part, say sometimes a beautiful pet that you can stroke and cuddle, so that also actually they are coming to you and they are touching yourself, and you feel grateful, you can feel kind of empathetic. And on the other hand, some lovely material, maybe different textures are available. Say you are walking through a carpet and you feel quite comfortable. If it is not there, you feel quite cold. So you can still understand how valuable it is, how helpful it is. And these sort of minor things actually ignite gratitude. And last thing actually is the shifting and appreciating objects around you. So you may have hard earned, you have worked hard to earn these whatever the things. Your house may have certain furniture, your house may have certain electric items. So these things are not immediately come to you. You have saved some money, with that you have got them. Now they are functioning really well, and makes your life easy. So still, when even when you are thinking like that, you feel gratitude. Therefore, that's why I have mentioned, so development of gratitude is not far away. It is not a very difficult thing. It is in a way to change our attitude so that we can improve the gratitude. So if we are changing our attitude, how we are looking at things, that of course can change and improve our gratitude. So then we feel more confident. We feel I am not separated. I am well connected with the whole universe. Even though I am living alone in my say private place, doesn't matter, but I may feel connected. Many others are helping me. They are delivering the food. They are providing me the electricity. They are providing me the water. They are providing me music. So likewise, this and that we can think. So likewise, so as we are looking around, when we see certain equipment what we have now, actually, for example, I am using this laptop to communicate with you. Actually, this is provided by one of my friend. So he's taking care of my internet bill, and now you all are listening. So if you are not there, there is no point of I am talking here. So we are actually depending each other, helping each other. Many are actually contributing even to this little presentation. This whole software is made by someone else, so it is not that I have written this software, someone else has written software. And actually I am using a kind of a free software. So many people have shown their generosity. They are not asking money to give this software, so they have make this software freely available. So you can understand, even in the technical world, there are many people showing their generosity. They are contributing their intellectual skills to the betterment of the world. So likewise, when we think more positively, in a proper attitude, with the proper attitude, then our hearts may fill with gratitude. So that is what I like to share with you regarding gratitude today. I hope you have enjoyed it. Now we can move forward to practice a little bit of guided sitting. Okay, now you can keep yourself comfortable. You can close your eyes and feeling relaxed. And we are keeping our head straight, neck also straight, and shoulders in a relaxed position. Hands may be resting on your lap. and our body feeling comfortable. Now you can pay your attention to the areas, to the places what I am explaining. You have closed your eyes. It is not too tight. Very gently you have closed your eyes. Lips are touching gently. And you are not thrusting your tongue towards the gums. You are keeping it relaxed. Jaws are not tightly coupled. Overall, your whole face may not have any tension. You are not thinking any particular issue, a problem, so that there can't be any wrinkles on your forehead, there can't be wrinkles on your eyebrows. So you are in a very relaxed mood. We can take a deep breath, hold it for some time, and then slowly release. Our shoulders in a very relaxed position. We are not purposely holding them. Hands are resting. There is no any tightness in your hand. You are keeping them quite relaxed. Upper half of the body straight but not rigid. Probably you can feel your clothes touching your body. If they are too tight, you can adjust them a little. Again, we can take a deep breath, hold it for a second, and then slowly release. So we are settling to the moment, trying to be awake to the moment. And if you keep your attention at your buttocks, probably you can feel some thrust, some pressure, some weight at your buttocks. Legs muscles are relaxed and legs are bent. We are in a very comfortable sitting posture. See whether you are feeling comfortable. Suppose you are from a long, tiresome walk, and after you return home, you are sitting comfortably. At that time you feel comfortable, feel quite composed. So we need this kind of a happy, comfortable feeling in order to proceed. Again, we can take a deep breath, hold it for a second, and then release. You can spend a minute listening to our sounds, outside sounds. It may be birds chirping, it may be sound of maybe a fan, maybe a refrigerator, maybe someone else is talking, maybe little movement of vehicles. Doesn't matter. Just to have an open mind to receive any sound. They simply come and go. You don't need to worry about them. So different sounds can happen in any direction. So we have open mind, receptive mind, and it is well spreaded. Our awareness is pervaded. We hear and those sounds then disappear. Now again we can keep our attention back to the body. Take a deep breath, hold it for a second, and then gently release. Head straight, eyes are gently closed, lips are gently touching. Probably you may have a slight smile, shoulders in a relaxed position, hands resting on your lap, upper half of the body erect but not rigid. You're feeling some pressure at your buttocks. Legs are bent, legs muscles are relaxed. We are now again establish mindfulness on our body. Now slowly keep your attention at your nostril. Recognize when in-breath happens. Recognize when out-breath happens. Allow the body to breathe naturally. You don't need to interfere. You don't need to control. You allow the body to breathe as it likes. You are keeping your attention at the nostril. Don't miss any in-breaths or out-breaths. Ask your mind to capture, to aware each in-breath, each out-breath. Okay, I think we have come to the conclusion of our program. Are there anything else to discuss? So if you have any questions related to the today's Dhamma sermon, or if you would like to share your experiences, you are welcome. Anybody like to talk, share their experiences? Yeah, Dhananjay, yes, please go ahead, please.
Thero and Bante, and
Yeah.
for everyone. Gratitude, the way I understand, is a very good thing to practice. Where when you have gratitude, you have a very clear mind and a very positive mind. And they say the mind is like a magnet, where when you have good thoughts, it attracts all the good thoughts around you. My
Correct.
question is, Bante, how we will be, what is the effort that we have to make in order to understand a person who doesn't have these qualities, and to take to the same way of thinking? Thirwan Sanai.
Yeah. So that's the very thing Buddha mentioned, that when you see a person is not grateful, he is not a good person, and the people who are not appreciating, not grateful, not thankful, they are the group of people who haven't yet understood the value of gratitude in a way. Actually, it doesn't mean that we can categorize them as entirely bad people forever, but in case if they encounter a good person, if they learn something from the Buddha's teaching, probably they can change their life. Because I mean, by being not grateful, actually they are the ones suffering. So their hearts are not opened, they are always in a negativity, they are always feeling lonely, they feel depressed. But when qualities like gratitude are being developed, so they are well connected and they feel comfortable, they feel joyful, even they are living alone, still they don't feel disconnected, they feel they are part of the whole universe, others are helping. So always these kind of positive feelings are available. So those people actually feel joyful, they have a smile on their face, always say helps, and always generous, these kind of things. But the opposite, the other things are happening, then they are quite depressed, negative, and they are actually suffering. So if people understand this, so it is not difficult for them to learn about these things. Actually, these are some very beautiful qualities that we can have and we can develop. And by developing these things, it is first of all, we are the ones benefiting. So, I mean, these teachings are available. So if we are developing, we are the ones really help, being very much like benefiting. And as we know, if we neglect them, we are mostly in a kind of a negative, always finding fault with others, finding your own faults, and you feel always that I'm a bad person, I can't do it, I'm not fitting to this society, I'm not fitting to this group. So likewise, that kind of a negative atmosphere is there. Yeah, Joseph, you can carry on. Yes.
Hello, Bante.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was a really sort of wonderful sort of explanation of the way we can appreciate gratitude, and in the small things, the little things. I found that really so kind of poignant, and I just want to relate. I noticed in my own experience, like sitting, for example, I sort of realized how much kind of practice and theory one has to understand in order to really just simply appreciate sitting. It for me, I don't think I would have been able to appreciate something so simple as sitting if I hadn't listened to all of these teachings. I think I would have found it. I would have missed it. Like it would have just passed me by. It wouldn't have been obvious. And for that, I always feel like so grateful whenever I do feel that the mind has finally cleared up in a sitting practice, and things are I'm just sitting and everything is good. I just feel grateful that I came into contact with this teaching, and that it was so kind of well explained, and also that I was able to put in the time to kind of understand it. And
yes,
I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Exactly. Actually, there is a traditional practice in meditation. Now, before we start our formal practice, sometimes we pay respect to the Buddha, we pay respect to Dhamma, we pay respect to Sangha, and again we pay respect and show gratitude towards our Kalyana Mittas, good friends, teachers who have shown our path. Actually, that is sometimes we call as the kind of preparation for meditation. So that preparation is what actually makes ourselves more grateful. Then it makes ourselves humble in a way, because rather than we starting as an expert, then these kind of very simple gestures, may I pay respect to the Buddha, I mean he's the fully enlightened person, so this is a kind of a gratitude that we are showing towards the Buddha. We are appreciating the teaching, and again we are appreciating the other colleagues, other practitioners, co-practitioners who are also trying to live according to the Buddha's teaching. So then actually we feel connected. And even the teachers, someone has taught us, so someone has showed the path, encouraged us, and they are also sort of living models, and this actually again encourage us, so that also feels ourselves more positive and more grateful. Actually, when we pay respect to Buddha, mostly it is the gratitude. Now Buddha actually has passed away, so he don't know that whether I am paying respect or not. But when I am paying respect to him, when I recollect his good qualities, it is the I am which is benefiting mostly. Actually, when I show more humble, grateful gesture towards the Buddha, when I am bowing towards the Buddha, whole dedicating myself towards the Buddha, that actually nullifies my ego. It removes my ego. I become more humble, then there is no conceit at all. So in front of the Buddha, I am just a student. And I am more grateful towards him, as Joseph mentioned. I am more grateful towards the Buddha for this beautiful, great teaching. Without it, actually, we are very much like animals, like creatures. We don't know what are the values. We don't know the human skills we have. So likewise, we always can be grateful to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and to our teachers. And on the other hand, Buddha himself has shown very beautifully these qualities. Now, probably you can remember after Buddha became fully enlightened, so he actually used during this meditating process the Bodhi tree. So Bodhi tree is giving him kind of a shelter during the enlightenment. So after he became enlightened, he actually shown gratitude towards the tree. Now this is a tree actually. So even to this tree, Buddha has shown gratitude. So he was looking at it for a long time, and that has made kind of an example that even to a non-living thing, so you can be grateful. Actually, today the environment is subject to a lot of difficulties. We are going through some climatic issues because we are not grateful. We are always trying to get the maximum benefit without giving back. We are not taking care of it. But on the other hand, when we are taking care of the environment, when we are planting a tree, when we are looking after it, and we are sort of appreciating its presence, the activity that it is giving us oxygen and absorbing carbon dioxide and all sort of things, actually we can really utilize to enhance our gratitude. And on the other hand, now if you consider Buddha's teaching and his character, so he is going long path to Kapilavattu to meet his father, King Suddhodana. And again, he is short of preaching him Dhamma, and he is also now coming to the teaching. And similarly, there is another interesting point in, Venerable Sariputta, when we consider his life. Probably you might have heard before Venerable Sariputta meets Buddha, he actually meets Venerable Assaji. Assaji is one of the group members of the 5 ascetics to whom that Buddha has first taught. So Venerable Assaji is the one, first of all, giving the teaching to Venerable Sariputta. At that time, he is the Upatissa. To this Upatissa, Venerable Assaji is giving a very short teaching. Ye Dhamma Hetupabhava Tesang Hetung Tathagato Aha. So if there are any conditioned phenomena, so Buddha is teaching, Buddha is talking, explaining the cause of it. So in very precise and concise way, Venerable Assaji has given the message of the Buddha's teaching to Upatissa. So with that, he became a Sotapanna. And then he meets Buddha, and he became the best of the Buddha's disciples. And after he becoming the Buddha's best disciple, he still pay respect to Venerable Assaji. You can see how much of a gratitude Venerable Sariputta has maintained towards his old teacher. Now, Venerable Assaji simply helped him to show the path, and that is the kind of the first ignition, kindling of the teaching. And that actually remembers by Venerable Sariputta throughout. So it is mentioned that if Venerable Assaji is in a particular direction, always Venerable Sariputta pay respect to that direction. And if he is close by, he always visits Venerable Assaji and pay respect. So likewise, that shows how Arahants have maintained that gratitude in their hearts. There are many such occasions recorded in the Dhamma, telling that, how beautiful they are, how beautiful living beings they are. Even after they become Arahants, they have this gratitude well cultured in their hands, in their hearts. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bhante, I have a kind of a, just want to get it clarified. So basically, self-reflection, isn't that it's very helpful to develop gratitude? At the end of the day, like if someone can look at themselves and see like their actions and what the things has been doing and the thoughts, everything, like the people, basically just looking back, I think it will help someone to like find their own mistakes as well as like appreciate like the other what they have got, maybe some from others, or maybe, as you said, maybe the environment. So isn't that a good practice if someone do it?
Definitely. So that is why, at the end of the day, you can realize, how during the day, for my well-being, how many people have contributed. Okay, the food someone else has prepared for me. Okay, someone has offered it to me. Or clothing someone else has prepared, and that is because of that I am protecting myself. Okay, I have a house that someone else has prepared, and I am living in it. So likewise, maybe my husband, my wife has earned something, so that is why I am able to maintain my living. So many things actually we can look at. That's why these things are not very far from us, but what happens is we take these things for granted. We forget that, and we think that they are bound to do it. They are very much like obliged to do it. That is their responsibility. That is how we sometimes think. So rather than thinking in that kind of a business or model, so when we are thinking, it is not, they can simply neglect their duty. So if since they are doing their duty wholeheartedly to the best of their ability, that is why we are able to maintain kind of a very peaceful, friction-free kind of a day. And assume that we are going to a hospital. So, it is true that they are being paid and that is their duty, but still, as human beings, I mean, they are doing something. So I mean, they can go beyond the typical routine work, and they can make a smile, they can show a path, etc. Now actually it remembered me even another very small thing. You can remember there was one very old Brahmin called Sona. So Sona, or can't remember. So this Sona actually is a beggar, and once Venerable Sariputta is going on village Pindapata, so he was little late. At that time, this Sona is simply showing, now you better go to on that street. So there are many people waiting there, so they definitely you will have something if you quickly turn to that street without going to another stream, without going to another path. So Venerable Sariputta went arms round on that street. So he actually got good food, and he was quite, I mean, grateful to that. And later, and this Sona is associated in the monastery. He is very old, and then Buddha get to know now it is better to ordain Venerable Sona. So then he is asking from Sangha, is there any person that who can remember that Sona has helped? So then Venerable Sariputta come forward and said, yes, Bhante, I can remember. One day I was little late to arms round. Venerable Sona is the one, this person is the one actually showed me the path, and because of that I actually have survived. So I can remember that he helped me. Then Buddha mentioned, now is the time, Venerable Sariputta, to show your gratitude. Now you can be grateful to him, just ordain him. So very beautifully, I mean, these little things, so these people have remembered, arahants have remembered, and so they actually have helped them. So these little things are here and there explained, scattered throughout the canon, and there we can understand how sappurisa they are. I mean, how good people they are. The whole Buddha's teaching, the dispensation, the sangha is based on this. Actually, as I mentioned, as sangha, we are totally dependent on the generosity of the lay people. Actually, Buddha could have asked, no, I mean, you better grow your foods in your monastery, you better cultivate yourself, you better go and do some earning, you got to earn money. Buddha stopped that. So monks have to go on arms round. They are solely dependent on the generosity of the lay people. So that way the monks have one way, actually then monks can remove their conceit, because they sometimes get a lot of conceit thinking that we are more spiritual, these lay people are always materialistic. This way, I mean, they can have kind of a more conceited view. But on the other hand, when they are going house to house, expecting some generous offering from the house, from the householders, so that there is no space for egoness, there is no space for conceit. Rather, then they have to appreciate what these people are going through a lot of hardships. They earn some money, and with that they cook some food, and they are so generous to offer that to us. So that way the monks may feel more comfortable, more grateful. So they are now helping the lay people. I mean, when sometimes, I mean, say if they need some free counseling, free association, kind of a spiritual advice, kind of a kind word. Likewise, I mean, then there's a very good connectivity happens between the lay people and the spiritual, the monks. So that is why Buddha has designed the Sangha society. They actually have to dependent on the lay people. That helps to mature both sides. Actually, to interdependency is well explained. It has to be maintained, then only the both groups are actually thriving.
Thank you so much, Bhante.
Yeah. Okay, I think we can wind up. Okay, someone else is also there. Yes.
Yeah, you can unmute.
Swamin Wahanse,
Yes, go ahead.
I have two questions. One is from my practice, and one is about gratitude.
Right.
I'll speak about gratitude first, because we come across people, how much we do to them. They never, they always try to hurt you. I'm sure everybody is very commonly meet such people. I know that I understand from Swamin Wahanse and all the Dhamma that we have to tolerate, but sometimes my tolerance goes away, which I sometimes feel very bad. I'm sure Swamin Wahanse knows me. I'm Chandrika Silva. I always try to practice it very, very much, but sometimes some people are so bad, and I always try to remember my Dhamma and try to tolerate, but sometimes my limits goes off. And how are we dealing with such people, Swamin Wahanse?
Yeah, actually, this is also discussed. There are even suttas Buddha discuss these things, because the point is, when we are thinking the bad side, so first of all we suffer. Actually,
Yeah.
they may not even know that we are being hurt because of them, because they are somewhat callous about it. They are emotionally callous about it. That is why they don't feel it. But we being more sensitive people, when they do something wrong, we really get hurt. So then actually there are many things actually we can follow. One thing is that we can understand, okay, their hearts are not yet sensitive. Their minds are not yet sensitive. They are emotionally callous. So they can't understand the even kind of maintaining a relationship. They can't understand why I did it, or they don't have any kind of appreciative quality in them. So they are so selfish, and so their hearts are very narrow in that sense. So in that way, when we are thinking like that, we can feel sympathetic. How long they may have to take to come to this understanding.
Yeah.
Say because of Buddha's teaching, because of good association, to some extent we are able to understand and get the benefits. But these people, they still didn't. They still couldn't. So how long, they have to traverse in this samsara to develop these skillful qualities. So that sense, when we are thinking like that, we feel little sympathetic rather than maintaining a grudge or maintaining kind of a hateful thought. And on the other hand, when we think about them, they are really suffering. They feel that I have helped them, but they got the benefit, they forgets it, and their hearts are very dry in that sense. So they don't have that soft quality to maintain kind of a gratitude, gratefulness in their hearts. So in that sense, their hearts are very dry. So as Buddha mentioned very beautifully at the very sutta that I have shown you, Buddha mentioned the plane of the good people represents through gratitude, represents through gratefulness. On the opposite, the plane of the bad people represents to non-gratefulness, ingratitude. So whoever simply neglects my good deed, whoever even though I did some lot of hard work, contributed, helped them, and they simply forgets it, and then we can understand he's not yet developed to that level. So they are still in that bad plane. So therefore it is very rare. So we can't expect everyone to have these qualities. That is why very Buddha mentioned the gratitude, gratefulness is very rare in the world. Now it is more rare because people are so money conscious, so business minded. So they are even showing these qualities for some marketing purposes. Actually, now things have become even worse. So can't help. This is how the whole human society in a way sort of declining or going through a kind of a downfall. So ultimately the climate is changing and sort of punishing in a way sometimes. So when you are not grateful to the whole nature, when you are not grateful to the environment, so there are repercussions definitely. So the people are suffering. So if we have these good qualities with ourselves, So the nature may protect us, the environment may protect us, the others may feel it, others may protect us. So that is there. So therefore we better, rather than really feeling sort of depressed, we need to understand these are not easy qualities that we are thinking of. Most people are lack of these beautiful qualities. So we have to be little sympathetic, we have to be little tolerant, patient with these people.
Yeah, I think they are challenges for us to check our patience, and I
Exactly.
think
That is also the other thing. Yeah, we can check ourselves. Am I getting angry? Am I trying to hold a grudge? Am I maintaining kind of a preconceived idea about that person? Always, he definitely will be ingrateful to me. He definitely will cut me off. So, am I maintaining that kind of a bad attitude towards that person? Because that also not necessary, because he also sometimes may change. So we have to have little bit of space in our hearts. Maybe in the future he may also change. Actually, there's a beautiful statement by most venerable Matara Sri Jnanarama Mahathero, who is the founder of Nissaranavanaya. He mentioned that even the most serious patients, they sometimes recover.
yeah, well explains.
Yeah.
Swamin Mahansi, my next question is based on my meditation. Can I speak about it now?
Yeah, okay.
I hope Swamin Mahansi remembers now. So, I mean, I clarified this thing last month also at Nissaranavanaya. In my sitting meditation, I was told by Swamin Mahansi to look at I explained that I go to, as soon as I sit, my mind goes blank and I wait. Then when the thoughts come in, I categorize them as Olarika, Paticcasamuppanna and Sankata. And now I have sort of a doubt here. Now I know that most yogis speak about their experience, and so Mahansi explains that when a thought comes, you have to watch it and see whether you see it coming, you see it lingering around, and if we don't capture it, leaves. In my case, I don't see it, because as soon as it comes in, I annihilate it. I just try to, as soon as I think as Olarika, or in other two categories, it disappears. Depends on my mindfulness anyway. So
Correct.
I just don't have I just don't allow the thought to, at least, as soon as it comes in, I try to get rid of it. So am I, this is a doubt, Swaminvans, what I have, am I just by doing that, am I not seeing the thoughts behavior, or is it okay for me to get rid of the thought that way? Or that is the doubt I am having at the moment.
No, actually, it may vary. Now, there are certain thoughts, whenever you simply be mindful, they simply disappear. So they are not really penetrating to inside. But there may be certain other thoughts, they are penetrating. So they are more sensitive. So they probably tend to spend more time at your mind. At that time, you can watch it. So therefore, you don't need to worry thinking that there is a thought came. I just looked at it and I felt it a little gross. So immediately I understood it. It has gone. No problem at all. You don't need to hold it. If they are naturally going, it is not that you are pushing away. That is also something that we need to understand. It is not that we are suppressing the thoughts. We are maintaining a very relaxed attitude in the mind, and as a result of that, certain thoughts appear, and once we are mindful about them, they simply go away. No problem at all. But there may be another thought coming in. Unknowingly, we are making a little bit of a support. As a result of that, now it tries to linger
Proliferates.
in the mind. Yeah. It promotes a little bit of a proliferation. At that time, probably you can do the full analysis, how you have contributed to it, how you have added from this and that, how you have added your likes and dislikes. So the construction part, the sankata part, construction, what you did, you can now reveal. So therefore, it depends on the situation. So if they are quickly going away, no harm. you can allow it. If they are not, if they are staying a little, then you can recognize what are your contributions, why, how you are weaving the thought. Yeah. So then actually you further understand it is not, I mean, what I am doing is not useful. I am being carried away by the thought. It has kind of a tempting nature.
Yeah, I feel bad then.
Yeah, it doesn't
That's what
matter.
happened because in
So that is why the moral shame is coming then. Moral shame comes. Why did I do this? I mean, I am just I just unnecessarily involved. So you understood it. So next time the same thought comes, I am not doing the same mistake. Then it will quickly goes away.
Okay. I'm very grateful to you, Swamin Wahanse, always helping us. Thero Sana, Swamin Wahanse.
Yeah, Thero Sanai. Okay, then Shalika, we can wind up. Probably if you have any notices, you can make them.
Yes, Bhante, thank you so much for giving us the insight into gratitude, actually through Buddha's teaching as well as the scientific findings. I think it's a really good topic we chose for this month's session. So our next session will be on Friday, February 25th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually Saturday, February 26th at 7 a.m. Sri Lankan time. So thanks again for all your participation and hope to see you in a month.
Thank you. Thero Sana, Swamin Wahanse. Thero
Sana, Swamin Wahanse.
Yeah, Thero Sanai.